Dave August fáilte a rash. Now, every now and again, we all need a reset. So whether it's cutting out junk food, tackling a big DIY job, or even just giving the house a deep clean, the Saturday Reset will tackle one life task at a time to give some inspiration and some guidance as well. So this week we are taking a look at sleep and how to break those bad sleep habits and get more Z's. Yes, here to help us is a fantastic sleep expert, Anne-Marie Boyan. How are you?
Great, Bláthnaid, how are you?
I'm fantastic, really, really good. So I'm so excited for you to come in because I have a kind of my sleep routines. I don't know, they're all over the shop basically. But look, we all know that we need sleep, and being sleep deprived, there's nothing worse. It's almost like a form of punishment. But why do we need sleep in the first place?
Sleep is so important for our mental health, our physical health, and our long-term health. But it's one of the three wellness pillars. So your fitness, your nutrition, and most people, look at those, but they forget about sleep. But it's actually probably the most important. So when we don't sleep, we're going to lose that, feeling well and feeling groggy the next day is not what we want. So we really need to prioritise sleep.
Oh yeah. And I even remember that when we first had our little girl, and basically you don't sleep for the first couple of months because newborns don't know whether it's day or night. And even if you just got 1 hour nap, you just feel like a new person. So that's just how transformative sleep can actually be. Now, lots of us, we find ourselves in a pattern of poor sleep, or even the anxiety of going to bed at night. It can kind of cause more sleep issues. Like the thought of trying to fall asleep keeps us awake. So how do we break these patterns?
Well, the first thing is to recognise that sleep is really important. So prioritise your sleep, get to bed early. So a lot of people do dread bedtime if they have that anxiety. But, one should welcome sleep, say I'm going to feel amazing tomorrow if I get my sleep, and prioritise that getting to bed early, because that's when we actually get our best sleep, from between 10 p.m. and 3 a.m.
So interesting. So bed before 10. So what time would you actually say get into the bed at?
10 p.m, yeah, and be asleep by 10:30. So you're allowing yourself a little wiggle room.
Okay.
But that time is just so important. Like I always say, 2 hours before midnight is worth 4 after midnight.
Is it?
Yeah. Yeah, it's when all the heavy lifting happens. The human growth hormone kicks in. So all of that, like beauty sleep, our collagen is repaired. Yeah. So if you're going to bed at midnight, you're missing out on 2 hours of that.
Okay. So did you hear that, gals? The collagen, it kicks in before midnight. My goodness. This is actually amazing. I didn't know any of that. So a good sleep routine. So what are your suggestions for a good sleep routine?
Firstly, have a sleep routine.
Okay.
So a lot of people don't. So it's the same for putting kids to bed. So we need to do the same for adults. So, with kids or young children, you might have them wash their teeth, wash their face, do a story, etc. So for ourselves, we need to have that buffer time to tell our brains to get ready for sleep.
Okay.
So pick 1 or 2 little things that you do every night, and then your brain will know, okay, this is my body winding down for sleep. Yeah. So that's different for everyone, but it could be as simple as turning off your phone, having a chamomile tea, and reading a book.
Okay. Yeah, reading a book. That's my go-to. I love reading a book before bed because your eyes just start to get so tired, and then you're like, right, switch off the light, gone, out like a light. Now, what about alcohol and sleep? Some people would have a little tipple before bed to help them fall asleep.
Yes, I see that a lot at the sleep care company where I work. So alcohol has that sedative effect. It does knock you out. However, it's so bad for sleep because we don't get any REM sleep when we have alcohol.
Really?
So that's REM is rapid eye movement sleep, but that's the restorative sleep. That it controls our emotional regulation. So if you don't get that sleep, if you have alcohol, the next day you're going to feel groggy, you're going to feel hungover, but you're going to feel like you actually haven't slept. You're going to feel haggard,
Yes. And you're not going to look great. You'll have puffy eyes and all that kind of thing as well.
Yeah. So alcohol, it has a half-life of 4 to 5 hours. So if you are going to have it, earlier in the day is preferable because you've more time to metabolize it and get it out of your system.
Exactly. And always drink responsibly. Now, sleep, it's a big business now, and there's lots of products out there claiming that they'll help you get a better night's sleep. So what do you recommend? And is there any truth to it?
There is truth in it. It's about finding the right one that you love using. So I love Irish brands, and Voya are an amazing brand. And the reason I love their Rest oil is basically it's an aromatherapy essential oil. So aromatherapy, we've been using it for centuries. So it has lavender and chamomile in it. So it's going to calm you down. It's a little roller ball.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you put it on your pulse points.
Oh, on your wrist.
And behind your ears.
And behind the ears.
Yeah, and it immediately calms you. So that's one. So something like that.
And like a lavender spray on your pillow as well. That sounds to be good, is it?
Yeah, it is, the lavender pillow spray, and Voya have a gorgeous one as well. But like, there's lots of brands out there. I love to buy Irish personally.
Yeah.
But other things that help people are weighted blankets, for example. I know leaving cert season is coming up, and I would get a lot of people asking me about their kids' sleep. So that's something you could do. Or listening to white noise can work really well for some people.
Yeah, amazing. I guess the main thing as well is the phone. Isn't it?
Yeah.
Leave the phone downstairs if you can.
Yeah, digital detox all the way. And that was my biggest problem when I had insomnia. I had insomnia for 2 years.
Stop. You had insomnia for 2 years?
Yeah, I lived on caffeine, every energy thing I could think of.
2 years you didn't sleep?
Yeah, well, I slept very minimally, about 2 to 3 hours a night. So that's what I do now. I figured out how to solve it, and now that's what I do. I help people.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
what's your sleep routine? I want to know.
Yeah, so I am military about my sleep routine now, because I didn't have one then, and that was one of the things. I was always on my phone. I didn't know how to shut off. I didn't know how to wind down. I was always looking after everyone else, and I was on my phone into the night. So now I shut off my phone about 9:30. I'll have a chamomile tea. Passion flower tea is another one that you can have. So you don't want to be having caffeine in the evening, in fact, in the afternoon at all. And then I have gotten back into reading. So go back to your traditional book.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's a podcast I listen to, but nothing too scary or no crime, nothing, it has to be something relaxing. But those are the things. Even like taking off my makeup, that for me is a sleep routine,
I actually am the same. I love that in the evening, just wiping away the day and just relaxing. Now, I am a devil because I use my phone as my alarm. So I need to get it. I probably should get an actual alarm clock. But reading the book, that really does knock me out.
Yeah, the traditional alarm clock, I always say go back to them, but it's just if you wake up in the night, you don't want to be reaching for your phone, because the blue light from the phone is going to wake you up even more.
Yeah. So if you have teenagers, like you were saying, kind of coming into leaving cert season, you just take the phone from them?
Yeah. And it's harder done, because we are so glued to our phones. And I even heard one of my clients saying that she had taken the phone off her daughter, but then discovered her daughter had a burner phone.
Really? So, oh my goodness.
So the phones, but also teenagers have a total different clock to us, so their circadian rhythm is much later, so that's why they struggle to get up in the morning. So it's not just phones, they're on a totally different time than us,
because they're still growing, they're still developing, their frontal lobe is still developing as well, so of course they need so much more sleep than we do.
So but definitely the getting rid of the devices, they'll be studying, but then find a way to shut off from studying. So that's the thing, it's like have a wind down routine, because otherwise if you go straight from studying into bed, you're not going to sleep.
I mean, I can't recommend a good book enough. We actually got a message in here from Jane who says, hi Bláthnaid, would Anne recommend for someone in chronic pain who finds it hard to go to sleep and stay asleep, like what would you recommend?
Chronic pain is a hard one.
So
I would see a specialist or someone to find some relief for that pain. But I work with a lot of people who have chronic illness. So it is acknowledging the pain, kind of thinking into the pain as well. But definitely you may need some extra help for that pain.
And what about sunlight and morning routines as well? Does that help with the melatonin production?
It does. I'm religious about morning routines. So get light within 1 hour of waking. So what that does is it tells our brains to start producing melatonin in the evening, even though you're getting it in the morning. So 5 minutes in the morning. If it's a sunny day outside, take off your sunglasses and just let the light in. Get as much sunlight as you can, but even 5 minutes will do it for you.
And just a bit of fresh air as well. Fresh air is amazing.
And the light is really the key with sleep. So in the morning we should be getting light, and the evening blocking light.
Exactly.
That's the trick.
Do you know, as I'm chatting to you, I'm actually thinking about the Netflix show Adolescence. I don't know if you've seen it. You haven't?
No, I
Well, it's
haven't
kind
yet.
of, I won't go into all the details, but it's sort of everybody is watching it. You should watch it. It's very, very good. But it is kind of, when your kid closes their bedroom door, what's going on? Are they on their devices and what's happening kind of in the privacy of their phone and all that sort of stuff, and how it can really affect your mind. And there is just a lot to be said for actually putting the devices down, not having a computer in your room, and just, using your room as a safe space and just reading a book, have your lavender spray, have your chamomile tea, and just decompress and relax. And actually, that just sounds so beautiful to do something like that for yourself. Look after yourself. It's so important, isn't it?
So important. Have it as your sleep sanctuary. So, it's for sleep only, really. That's all we should be doing in there.
Exactly. Okay, well, look, Anne-Marie, thank you so much for coming in. So the main takeaways are alcohol, no good for when you're going to sleep. Obviously, the phone, no good. Get yourself a traditional alarm clock. I kind of like that. Everyone's kind of going a little bit more retro now anyway. We're all mad for the old vinyls and record players and stuff like that. So let's do that in our bedrooms as well, get an alarm clock. Amazing. And where can people find you online if they have any questions where they want to follow you?
They can find me at thesleepcarecompany.com.
Amazing. Anne-Marie Boyan, thank you so much for coming in. We're going to finish out this hour with Belters Only.